Okay, so I don't know about you, but sometimes on some days I get working and I'm like, I feel like I've done a lot of work, but I don't feel like I really got anything done. So, what you'll notice today that's a little bit different than last time we saw on my screen on my today view was this accomplished today is filled up and it's displayed a little bit differently. I was feeling like that today, like, did I actually get anything done? And so what I did was I went in and I modified the related content on my today node. And what I did was I added the ability to see my impact rank. Now, you're not going to have an impact rank inside of Tana because that's part of my system called TanaPlan. But let me kind of tell you how the system works so that you can get an idea for it. And if you want to learn how to build something like this, you can join me over on smartguides.ai and jump into our Tana Tuts training to learn how to do stuff like this. Actually, a couple of key pieces of information right now. Tana just released to the public yesterday. And so down below, either you might be seeing this on a blog post, you might be seeing it on a Twitter post, or you might be seeing it on YouTube. Somewhere around here, there will be a link where you can actually go and jump into Tana and start doing some of the cool stuff that I'm going to show you today. But we have to kind of start with the basics, right? The end result is I can look at what I accomplished today and I can know that what I accomplished today was worth basically 313.9 points towards my life goals. Now, how did we get here? Well, that's the big thing. We kind of have to start at the very beginning. So that's what we're going to talk about today is how do we start at the beginning? So the first thing I did was I created what I call like your life algorithm. Crazy, right? But really, your life does have an algorithm. So let's go and hop into my Vision app really quickly, and we'll talk about that and talk about like how to use it, not how to build it, but how to use it today. Because you'll learn that in Smart Guides. That's the other piece of news today is I actually launched smartguides.ai, and let me bring that up for you here. There we are. We're going to pop that in here. So this is smartguides.ai, and you can join me there, and you'll notice once you log into Smart Guides, you'll see this little guy right here, Tana Tuts. That's actually where you'll go if you want to learn about Tana and how to build really cool stuff like this. On our website, we have other things. We have other AI apps and things like that. But today we're just talking about Tana. So let's just keep it focused here. That's where you can get Tana Tuts. And if you're wondering how much it is to jump into that, that's $29 a month. Okay? But for right now, let's go back and, again, kind of start at the very beginning. So I'm going to close this, and we are going to go into my Vision app. And the Vision app is actually built on a super tag. And super tags basically kind of allow you to power things up. Everything inside of Tana is a node, But some nodes, like super tags, have superpowers. And this is definitely one of them, although this is a very, very simple app. Okay? And the core thing about this app and this whole system that we're talking about right now, so when you go into Tana Tuts there on Smart Guides, you would look at TanaPlan because this is part of the TanaPlan series and how I actually ended up with these impact ranks that we were talking about a little bit earlier. But it all starts with this, and this is kind of the beginning of your life algorithm, right? So when you first start in here, you're going to have, I'm going to put it in all of mine in there for you, and you can either use mine or you can design your own, okay? So let's talk about that right now. When you first go in here, you've got an area, and we're talking about an area of your life and an area of your business. Now, I have 10 areas of my life, and I have 4 areas of my business. And so you'll notice in the training, there's these 4 terms that I talk about all the time: promotion, production, provision, and pedestrian. And so those are 4 areas of my business. Now, you can use whatever areas of your business you want to think about, right? But to give you this framework that I use for me anyways, is first of all, you've got production, right? So you have to produce your goods and services. In my situation, I'm producing these videos, right? So that's the production part of my particular business. Or when you're manufacturing a product, that's production, right? Same sort of thing. You could call it manufacturing if that's the type of business that you're in. The next one is promotion, right? So once you've created a product, now you have to sell it. That's the promotion side of things. And then there's provision. Provision is if you do any sort of services where you're providing services to somebody, that and the other way to think of it, if you're not doing services to somebody, you could call it distribution, right? Because it's the actual giving of your products to the end user. So that is what we call provision in the system. And then pedestrian is all of the kind of back office stuff that you don't do for clients. So clients or customers. So for instance, you notice production was producing for your customers. Promotion was promoting to customers. Provision was providing to customers. Pedestrian is all the back end work of your business. It's all the stuff you actually do for your business rather than doing for a client. I hope that makes sense. Some people call that administration. You could call yours administration, just as long as you get the idea. So in this system, I created 4 areas. Those are the 4 areas, and then the 10 areas of my life. And the 10 areas of my life are finance, you see that's at the very top, health, relationships, intellect, atmosphere, recreation, creativity, family, and spirituality. Now, after you've created these areas of your life, and you may have some of those, you may not have some of those, get rid of whatever doesn't fit for you and put something else in there, right? They're just areas that you think of, right? The next thing you want to do is you want to create a vision for your life. Like, this is in a perfect world, this is what it would be, right? So, for instance, for me, my finance, a perfect vision would be I'm earning money while I'm sleeping, right? So if I want to earn money while I'm sleeping, I need to have a product that people can use while I'm sleeping, right? So there we go, creating videos and stuff like that. So this is why creating the vision is so important, because it kind of informs the other things as we step down, right? For me, I'm a good role model for people around me. I'm wealthier than my grandparents were, and my grandparents were worth about $530 million. And I am benevolent with that money, and I'm experiencing financial relaxation. In other words, there's no stress around money, and there was definitely stress in my family around money, because they felt like once they got it, it was a tough time to hold on to it. So now you've got a vision for your life, right? And so the next thing you want to do is you want to give that area of your life a priority. And when I say priority, like for instance, if we see family down here, it doesn't mean that my family isn't important to me. It means that I'm not working on my family area right now because it's fine, right? Whereas I'm working on my finances right now because I want to hit my retirement goals, right? I'm 56 now, and I want to work for probably another 10 years. So that's important to me that I reach those goals. And so finance is at the very top for me, and then my household, and then my business, and then everything else, right? I'm fairly healthy, so it comes a little bit further down, although it's part of my day every day, right? So that's basically what I want you to do when you're using this app, is just define the areas of your life, because this will be the beginning of your algorithm, right? And so I'm going to keep it short today. And we just talked about the vision. If you want to jump into TanaTuts and learn how to build this app, let's talk about how this algorithm is actually used in the rest of the system, and how I ended up with having a score of 313 today, right? So real quick, I am going to jump into my goal board. And we're not going to go too much into the goal board today because I don't want to overwhelm you with stuff. I'd like to keep these a little short and simple and sweet. We'll go into it another time. But in the goals, you'll notice, and let's go further out. So we were talking about my retirement account, right? So I'm going to go into my goal, and we're not going to talk about all of the really cool stuff that this does today. We're just going to talk about that impact rank, right? And so the impact rank is generated, first of all, by the area, right, that you put in there. And this one has to do with finance. Finance was a 14. So that's why this is finance 14 in that area, right? And then the priority of this specific goal is a 9 to me. And your priorities always have from 1 to 10, whereas your areas is like the total number of areas that you had. I had 14 areas, so my top number is 14 in that example, right? And then if we look down here, we can see that there's a boost put onto this. In other words, this is really important to me, and it's not just a regular goal. And let's actually look at the two different types of goals. We could have a milestone, right? Like it's a major event, or a moonshot, meaning like I'm really pushing myself with this goal. So this particular one is, it's definitely a milestone, and it's also a moonshot to me. So I'm giving that a number of 20. So 20 plus 14 is what? 34, right? And now you'll notice I have a priority of 9 here. And do you notice how that changed? I'll tell you why that changed, because this was a priority of 5 earlier. So when you change things, you want to remember to re-rank them too. So now this makes sense. So that gives us the impact rank of this goal on our life, right? So that's kind of the next step in the impact rank. Now we can go down to our projects. So now we are in a project, and that project is attached to that bigger goal, right? So we have the area of the project. Again, it's a finance project. We have the goal that it's connected to, which was that $6 million retirement account. And we have the priority of this specific project. And we also have a milestone. And so that kind of modifies the algorithm a little bit. And so this gives us a impact rank of 72. So now if we go down to a task that I need to do for this, and I'll just give you an example, which is do a trading session for challenge account. And I'm going to say that that's task. Okay, so now I have that task, and I'm going to go into that task. And this time I changed the goal to be a more immediate goal, kind of like a milestone of that bigger goal, right? And it's to actually pass that prop firm challenge. And it's still the same project that we were working on. And tomorrow, my priority, this is a 9. Like, I trade every single day, so it's pretty important to me. But of course, I don't want to make everything a 10 because then nothing's important, right? So I'm going to leave that as a 9. And then I'm going to rank this task. And so now we know exactly how we came up with those accomplishment numbers that we were seeing on my today list. So if I go back here, there we go. So these were the impact ranks of those specific tasks that I worked on today. And so that's how I know the value of everything that I did today. And it just makes me happy when I know that information. I don't know about you, but I'm just one of those people that likes to know stuff like that. I need to know how important something is to me, and if it's really important, then I need to put it in a higher priority. If it's not so important, then I don't have to put a priority on it, right? Like these two, they were just things that I needed to do. They weren't really like impactful on my life. So I really didn't have to put an impact rank on them. And you'll notice that there's a couple of goals here that I haven't put the impact rank on them because, well, the trip to Cayman's not really a goal. It's kind of more like a project at this point. I am going for sure. So I have to go back and get all of my stuff out of storage. I was living in Grand Cayman for 5 months last year. So, but I just want to show you some of the cool things that you can do with Tana. And this is all part of TanaPlan, which is inside of Tana Tuts, inside of Smart Guides. So if that interests you and you want to learn how to put this all together, I am teaching it over there. So jump on in.